Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss adverbial clauses. We have already learnt about dependent, independent clauses and noun clauses. Then we studied the relative clauses. They are also called the adjective clauses. Now, in today's lecture, we are going to study adverbial clauses. Before we understand what the adverbial clauses are, let's first understand what is the function of adverb in a sentence. Well, what an adverb does in a sentence, how does it perform its function? Its function is to modify adjectives, verbs, and adverbs. And what does it modify about these things? Adverb modifies time, place, action, reason, condition, and in which manner the action has taken place. Now let's understand adverbial clauses. An adverbial clause or adverb clause is a group of words behaving as an adverb. Like all clauses, it always contains a subject and a predicate. As we have already studied that in a clause, either it's a dependent or independent, it must have a subject and a predicate. An adverbial clause is a type of dependent clause, so it also has a subject and a predicate, and it is used like a regular adverb to modify adjectives, verbs, and adverbs. Now look at the example. I went to the park today. Today is an adverb that modifies the verb went, and today shows time, so it's adverb of time. It's a regular adverb because it is comprised of one word only, today, that shows time. So this is a regular verb. It's not a adverbial clause. Now in sentence number 2 there is an adverbial clause. I went to the park before my parents woke up. Before my parents woke up, that is a dependent clause, and it starts with before, and before is a subordinating conjunction that shows the time. So we can say that the whole clause before my parents woke up is a dependent clause, and here it has been used as adverbial clause because it shows time. Now, if adverb clause is a type of an adverbial clause is a type of dependent clause or subordinate clause that uses a subordinating conjunction to connect the main clause. Now, it has been explained over here that every dependent clause which has a subordinating conjunction which connects the dependent clause with the independent clause and it shows time, place, or manner, it's a adverbial clause. In the previous example, before X as a subordinating conjunction connecting the adverbial clause before my parents woke up to the main clause, I went to the park. Now, how different subordinating conjunctions function in a sentence. Subordinated conjunctions have different functions depending on the ideas being modified. We can therefore identify the function of an adverbial clause by looking at the type of subordinating conjunction connecting it to the main clause. The table below highlights the various functions of some of the most common subordinating conjunctions. Now, these are the words here that shows the time: when, whenever, while, before, after, since, until, once. Now, if they are the words which are used as subordinating conjunction before the dependent clause, that dependent clause is used to show the time. And then we can see where, wherever, everywhere, anywhere. Reason or purpose is being shown with the words because, as, since, so, and we also show condition in adverbial clause, and condition is shown with the subordinating conjunctions like if, unless, whether or not, in the event, and provided. Comparison or manner is shown with the subordinating conjunctions like, as well as if, the way, or than. And the contrast is shown in adverbial clause with the subordinating conjunctions though, although, even though, whereas, even if. Now let's understand how they function in different types of clauses, these subordinating conjunctions. First we study adverbial clauses of time. Now look at here. I will arrive whenever dinner is ready. Whenever is a subordinating conjunction that shows time, and it has been used before the dependent clause dinner is ready. So that whenever dinner is ready, that is the adverbial clause and it shows time. He said he will go whenever you decide it's time to leave. Now, whenever shows time, so it's also adverbial clause. Animals are cute while they are young. Now, while display the time, and it shows modifies the time. So, while here shows that the whole clause while they are young. That dependent clause is used here as the adverbial clause, as it has subordinated conjunction in the beginning, that is while it shows the time. Before you leave, let me give you a kiss. Now before also shows the time, and in this sentence dependent clause has been used first, and later sentence let me give you a kiss, that is a independent clause. Teachers grade papers after the students go home for the day. Now after the students go home for the day, that is the dependent clause, and that starts with the after, and after shows time, it's an adverbial clause again. I have loved you since the day I met you. Since shows the beginning of the time then they met. So since shows time, since the day I met you. Now this is a dependent clause and this is used as adverbial clause and it shows time. She waited on the shore until the ship departed. Until shows the time and it's an adverbial clause of time. The bully stopped picking fight once he realized it was wrong. Once shows the time, so once he realized it was wrong, it's an adverbial clause of time. I'll be careful with the subordinating conjunction since, because it is also used with adverbial clauses of reason. Sometimes since shows reason as well, because you just listen this sentence. He was scolded when he came to school since he was late. Now here since shows the reason, so since can be a subordinating conjunction that shows the time. It can be used as the clause of reason or purpose as well. Now let's look at some type number 2, adverbial clauses of place. In below the sentences, grandma and grandpa want to go where their children live. Now where shows the place, so where their children live, that whole is a dependent clause, and as it starts with where subordinating conjunction that shows the time, so where their children live, that is whole clause is used as adverbial clause of place. I can go wherever I want to go. Now that also wherever shows the place. Peter thinks his sunglasses everywhere he goes. Peter brings his sunglasses everywhere he goes. Everywhere shows the place. So everywhere he goes is the adverbial clause of place. Birds create nests anywhere they deem suitable. Anywhere shows place, so it's an adverbial clause of place. Now we are going to study another type of adverbial clause, that is the adverbial clauses of reason or purpose. Now, an adverbial clause of reason or purpose describes why something has occurred or will occur. Common subordinating conjunctions are because, as, since, and so. For example, I admire you because You are an inspiration to many people. Now, the reason for admire is because someone is inspiration to many people. So, in this, the uh, reason is shown. So, we can say that this is the adverbial clause of reason because is used in the beginning of the dependent clause and it shows the reason. As it is raining, we probably shouldn't go to the park today. Now, as it is raining, we shouldn't go. Why shouldn't we go? Because it is raining. So again, as it is raining shows the purpose. It's adverbial clause of purpose or the reason. I'm going outside to play since my homework is finished. Since shows time here. Since here shows the reason. In previous class and previous type we learned about that since is used both as adverbial clause of time and it is also used as adverbial clause of reason. I'm going outside to play since my homework is finished. Why are you going outside to play? Because here since has been used in sense of because and it shows the reason, so it's a adverbial clause of reason. He went to his room so he could be alone. He went to his room so he could be alone, so also shows the reason. Be careful with subordinate conjunction since because it is also used as adverbial clause of time as we saw in above sentence I've already mentioned. Now adverbial clauses of condition. Adverbial clauses of condition describe the conditions necessary for a specific action or events to happen. This type of clause usually implies the subordinating conjunctions if, unless, whether or not in the event and provided. For example, if it snows tonight, I'm not going to work tomorrow. Why are you not going to work tomorrow? Because if it snows today. So it shows the condition. If the condition is that if it snows, you will not go work for tomorrow. Now, cat can't attend the school dance unless her parents allow it. Now, cats attending the school dance is conditioned with the permission given by their parents. So here, unless her parents allow it, that shows the condition. He is always crazy stunts whether or not they are considered safe. So whether or not shows the condition if they are safe or not. In the event of hurricane, you must stay inside. Why should you stay inside? Because there is an event, there is a horrible hurricane, you must stay inside. So they will approve your request provided you pay the appropriate amount of money. Now this is the last type of the adverbial clause, that is the comparison. An adverbial clause of comparison or manner describes how or in what manner something occurred or will occur, to what degree something occurred or will occur, and how something compares to something else. Some of the most often used subordinating conjunctions in the adverbial clauses of manner are like, as if, the way, and then. For example, she sings like he wants to be a rock star. He sings like he wants to be a star. So his singing has been compared to the one who is a rock star. The teary-eyed friend embraced as long siblings would. Here, as long shows the comparison with the love of the teary-eyed, because you were feeling a lot of emotions, and it shows as if you were as long lost siblings, and that is the comparison shows over there. The freshly picked flower is as beautiful as it is soft. So here again it is comparison showed. She looked excited as if she could jump up and dance at any moment. Lauren walks confidently the way a model stirs on runway. How does Lauren walks? She walks like a model stirs. So here again a comparison is shown. It's an adverbial clause of comparison. Tim is more nervous than Rhonda. Here the comparison is shown between Tim and Rhonda. In colloquial English, the final verb in an adverbial clause of comparison may be omitted. In this case, the sentence would become Tim is more nervous than Rhonda. So, these in our today's class, dear students, we have learned about what the adverbial clauses are, what is the function of adverbial clause in a sentence, and we have also learned that what are the subordinating conjunctions and how they function in a sentence. Then we also learned about adverbial clause of time, adverbial clause of place, adverbial clause of reason or purpose, adverbial clause of condition, adverbial clause of comparison or manner. So I hope that you must have understood and you can now identify in a sentence. If you are asked to identify that what type of clause is this, I think you can identify that this clause is the noun clause, this is the adverbial clause, this is the relative clause, this is the adjective clause, and if it's a adverbial clause, what type of is it? With subordinating conjunction, you can identify that it's adverbial type of adverbial clause of time, adverbial clause of place, adverbial clause of manner or comparison, adverbial clause of condition. So this is what we have learned. If you have any question, you do comment or ask question after watching this video. If you look at this, if you watch this video 2 to 3 times, I hope that you will understand a lot. And if you just share it, try to understand and then explain it in your own words, then it will be more helpful you. So watch my videos, share them, subscribe them, and be good at English and pass all your tests. Either it is ECAT, MCAT, or NTS test, or it's any entrance test, it's a CSS, you can pass it very confidently with flying colors. Hope you would have understood. Thank you very much.